He just ran in. We're just 2 days away from the midterms, and there is a lot at stake.
So let's break down the latest Fox News power rankings before Election Day. Let's look at some forecasts.
So do you want to be Brett or Martha, or should I? I'll be Martha, you be Brett.
I'm going to think about that one for a little while. Let's take a look at the House and see what the forecasts are for GOP versus Democratic control. The forecast, according to Fox News, is that Republicans take control of the House. You can see a best-case scenario for both Republicans and Democrats on this wall.
Yep, absolutely. So 218 is what you need to get a majority. And based on the forecasting of the polls aggregated thus far in the power rankings, this is the most likely scenario is Republican control. But you mentioned it, Will. And in the bottom there's the current. The best case scenario for both the Democrats and Republicans, and the key takeaway on this side is even the best case scenario, according to our power rankings, has Kevin McCarthy as the new Speaker of the House.
Yeah, it has Kevin McCarthy and the GOP picking up seats from where we sit today. And you can see in the Republicans' best case scenario, I mean, it's overwhelming.
That I've heard some people say that this number could even go higher if it's a red tsunami, that there are some districts, given that Oregon, given that Minnesota, given that Wisconsin, Michigan, and New York are in play statewide, some of those House districts could raise too. You could even see a night over 250. Not likely, but possible.
So speaking of those states, let's take a look at projections for the Senate. The projection by Fox News is that Democrats have 47 seats. Republicans have 49 seats, with 4 in the column of toss-up. Those states, Pete, are over there on your map.
Yep, here's your toss-ups. You've been hearing a lot about them. Nevada, Adam Laxalt out there in a tight race. In Arizona, of course, Blake Masters in a tight race with Mark Kelly, a race that wasn't seen to be tight but has tightened a lot recently. John Fetterman and Mehmet Oz, of course. And then down in Georgia, Herschel Walker. If his prospects are like the Bulldogs yesterday, he's in good shape because they put a whooping on Tennessee.
Yeah, big win for Georgia yesterday. So Republicans take 2 of these toss-ups.
That's it.
According to these projections, they got the majority in the Senate.
You only need 2 of these 4, and because Wisconsin, Ohio, and North Carolina are all looking solidly in the Republican camp.
Correct. All right, now let's look at governors, which focuses on some of those same states, Nevada, Arizona. We'll add to that Wisconsin, Oregon, and you can see that Republicans, who already, Pete, what are we, well over 30 governors, I believe, out of 50 states are Republican, and more on the way.
Some surprises we should be on the lookout for on election night. Minnesota, with Dr. Scott Jensen running tight against Walz. Tudor Dixon in Michigan run a much stronger campaign than a lot of people anticipated. And then, of course, in New York, this will be an early return to look at in New York. If Lee Zeldin is tight, what an indication that could be for the remainder of the country. And then, of course, a big one in Arizona as well.
Yeah, still in the toss-up category, but Kari Lake's even campaigning out of state for others, showing a real sense of confidence. And Joe Biden's not going to Arizona. All indications are that Republicans feel strong and Democrats feel weak in Arizona.
And the other one is, if the state of Oregon is yellow in toss-up, another sense of where the electorate is right now.
Let's take a look at some of those candidates and what they're spending on the Democrat side to win or fight against all odds to win these seats. Raphael Warnock's your big spender. Almost $76 million for Raphael Warnock. We just mentioned Arizona. You see Mark Kelly, $73 million.
That's a lot of money, $68 million to get thumped. Val Demings will spend that much in the state of Florida, and already the indications are she will get beat. Fetterman, more money pouring in at the last minute for him, including you saw Joe Biden and Barack Obama yesterday in Pennsylvania. And then the Tim Ryan campaigns raised $44 million. Again, another campaign that looks likely to go for J.D. Vance. I will note in a lot of these states, Democrats are running against Republican candidates that they said they wanted to run against.
Yes.
Herschel Walker.
Funded by Democrats.
Blake Masters, Kari Lake, Mehmet Oz, across this, J.D. Vance. Donald Trump advanced candidates they said were unelectable. Those candidates are about to win. And in many cases, Democrats gave to those candidates.
They were so confident, by the way, that these quote-unquote threats to democracy would lose to a Democrat that they helped fund these threats to democracy.
And now they're about to win. Fifth wall we're going to look at this morning. How much of the closing argument of Democrats is on abortion?
45% of spending for Democratic candidates on the message of abortion. Look at those states where they're focusing that message.
I was in Arizona this week at a diner. Inflation in Arizona, 13%, higher than the national average. So you're feeling it, yet 45% of what you're seeing on your television screen, up to almost $100 million, is about abortion.
And I want to go to this last wall really quickly to show where Biden, Obama, and Trump are spending time. Pete, here's what stands out to me really quickly. While obviously Donald Trump and to some extent Barack Obama are spending some time in those toss-up states.
Yep.
Look at this.
It's
none.
incredible.
No toss-up. Pennsylvania, the only one.
Yep.
That Joe Biden, those candidates don't want to be around Joe Biden.
Defense, 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 defense.
There you go. That's off the wall.